Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 221 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host, Reggie.
I am your co-host, Norwood. Our powers combined, we are your HBCU homeboys. We are blessed, happy, and highly flavored. Flavored and favored. How about that? A little sauce. How about that? How you feeling, brother?
Clean it up. Clean it up.
I think I might put that on the shirt. Highly flavored.
Blessed, highly flavored.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. That is it.
Merch on the way. Man, I'm good, man. Thank you guys for tuning in live. We appreciate it. If you could please click the share button, share this to all of your friends. If you're listening to the playback, please go back and listen to the mic check. Of course, we had a great lead up where we were talking about Michael Jordan with his domination in NASCAR to start off the season, the Olympic hockey mess, and we had a little Braves chop talk, first time of the season.
And we gotta start saying Tyler Reddick's name. Tyler Reddick is the guy driving the car. Michael Jordan is the man spending the money, and both important. But if you're gonna drive the car, you the one. I want to make sure we at least say your name, Tyler Reddick.
I mean, fair. I ain't gonna argue with it. I ain't gonna slander him. Shout out Tyler. You got it, Big Ty. You got it, shout it. Yeah. But
and you keep bringing that money to Michael Jeffrey, you gonna be Michael all right, bro.
You gonna have your name in all caps,
right?
With that being said, y'all know what it is. We start out with HBCU news around the culture, followed by football, and then we round it out with basketball to end the show. We're gonna start out with HBCU culture news around the culture. We got a few things we talk about. First, before we talk about Mickey Joseph, let's go back to the base. I do want to send T's and P's to the family of Dominiq Ponder. Dominiq Ponder is a former Bethune-Cookman quarterback who transferred to Colorado. He passed away in a single car accident. Once HBCU, always HBCU family. So we want to send all T's and P's out to everybody. He was with Ed Reed in that whole Bethune-Cookman thing, and he was supposed to be Ed Reed's starting quarterback. And then when all of that happened, he left and went to Colorado and had worked his way up the depth chart. Was challenging for a starting spot, and unfortunately, he was in a single car accident. Nothing nefarious about it. It was unfortunate, and he passed away. So we want to send T's and P's out.
Absolutely, to his friends, his family, teammates, all the above, because that will definitely change the way you look at life. Change the way you look at your own life, too, to be completely honest.
Yep. So with that being said, we're going to move on, or we're going to try to. First off, Mickey Joseph gets an extension at Grambling State University. He is kind of defying the odds of what Grambling did over the last few years. They've had a few coaching turnovers over there, and now they're sticking with Mickey Joseph, who they had a pretty good season, and he's building a pretty good program over there.
Right. They say the contract was $325,000 annually. I think that was before, with performance incentives tied to the Bayou Classic, SWAC Championship, and Celebration Bowl appearances. That lets you know what's important to them. But yeah, I think that this was a good, solid move to maintain the stability and give Grambling an opportunity to really put themselves in a position to compete. Because if you're always switching coaches, it's going to be damn near impossible to compete at the HBCU level specifically.
I agree. That was going to be my. Oh, go ahead. Refin.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, that was going to be my point. Was this was a smart move by Grambling because they're combating star power with continuity. So you have the star power at Jackson State. Jackson State right now is probably them in North Carolina Central. And South Carolina. I would say South Carolina State, really. Them in South Carolina State. Huh?
Prairie View.
Yeah. They are probably the standard of having star power and continuity. Prairie View is probably the outlier there with just the philosophy they had in the roster turnover. When it comes to South Carolina State as well as Jackson State, they have the star power and continuity. Southern now has the star power with Marshall Faulk. They're trying to build continuity. Grambling is going the other way now. For those football heads that actually are nerds about football, know who Mickey Joseph is, but especially in the coaching ranks. But it's more about continuity with them, and they had a pretty good season. And he's recruiting. He's starting to learn the whole recruiting thing very, very well. So Grambling is on the move now. They are on the move, and they are very upset that they lost that Bayou Classic to 2-9 Southern.
Yeah, that will stick in your craw, and that you got to come back and figure out a way to win it. Yeah, that is 2-9. It's rough. Jesus.
Yep. But shout out to Grambling. As long we'll keep any other football news coming as it comes out. Moving on, Howard swimming. I feel like we have every year we have Howard swimming do something great. So Howard swimming and diving wins the men's and women's NEC championships. They are. Well, first we'll talk about the women.
That is the Northeast Conference for the people who don't know, because I had to look up
the Northeast Conference. The women's team secured its first NEC championship in program history, disrupting a three-meet winning streak by Central Connecticut State. The men's successfully defended their title, and they've won their second consecutive championship and their third in the last 4 seasons. So the men are in the midst of a dynasty, and the women are on the board, and they look like they're about to start a dynasty. Howard, again, in football, there's a lot of HBCUs, Hampton, A&T, that are in these PWI conferences where they're the only one, and they're struggling. I think that is starting to change. Howard is the only HBCU in that conference, and they meet and the only HBCU that sponsors swimming and diving as an NCAA Division I varsity sport, making this a dual sweep and a landmark moment for HBCUs.
Yes, this is very important. The other part about this is Howard has clearly shown a refocus in non-revenue sports and making sure that they are successful too. But that can only be done if the revenue sports and the giving is in line, because you got to lean on something in order to get some money to do these type of things. And that's the reason we end every show and tell y'all as many times as we can to support HBCUs, support HBCU sports. If you're an alumni, you got to send money, because otherwise you don't have a swimming team. And Howard swimming team, as much as we call them the dog bark, they knocking this shit out of the park. They're putting on a masterclass, and they're doing it, in the pool, and they're doing it with marketing, and they're doing it because they have money. Congratulations to those guys. Congratulations to those ladies.
Quick highlight, both men's and women's programs receive NEC Coaching Staff of the Year. The women's 400-meter freestyle relay team set a new NEC meet record with 3 minutes 22 seconds. And the final score showed a dominant performance, with the women winning by 19 points and the men winning by 72.
Damn.
You know about track, you know about points. That's a big margin.
I'm gonna put it this way: if you play Madden, you got dubbed. Pass the sticks, bucko.
Yeah, man. So they basically took away all of the highest honors. They swept all the awards. So shout out to Howard. Other HBCUs. This is where I encourage us to sit and talk with each other. How did you invest in this? How did you bring in swimming and diving?
How did you keep it? I think about the FIS gymnastic team that came and went so fast, and I'm like, man, that would have been really good to keep. They were not only new, but they were good. And how are we able to keep these non-revenue sports sustainable going forward? That's got to be a real question that HBCUs have to figure out.
Yep, for sure. But hey, man, you got to have success to start the conversation. Moving on. Oh, I thought it was Tennessee State. The Texas Southern men's indoor track and field team gets a three-peat. They win the SWAC championship for the third indoor championship for the third consecutive time. This is the program's 13th indoor conference title.
God, what do y'all do? Y'all watching?
Yes, from behind.
Right. I really wish I could catch him. Let me not say that. I never wanted to run track. So I respect y'all and the people who are running behind them.
Head coach Clyde Duncan Sr. was honored as the SWAC Coach of the Year for the record 11th time. Continued his storied career. The team amassed 108 points across 17 events, featuring 28 top 8 finishes, which is the standard of Houston. Olivia Brown set a new SWAC record in the 3,000 meters. They captured gold in the pole vault. Adam Hines and Ahmad Muhammad took first place in the triple jump. Donovan Brooks claimed the title in the heptathlon. The victory fueled those were the 4 individual champions. Just an overall dominating.
What was the coach name again?
Clyde Duncan Sr.
Oh yeah, Clyde. You know, Clyde can coach some track. Hey man,
assistant coach named Earl.
Clyde and Earl. Oh, y'all finna get after it every day, and they don't care. If you don't like it, you can go home because Clyde and Earl ain't got time for you.
Old school. Go ahead, you carrying a broom with gallon water jugs on each side.
I was teaching people how to run for your parents for your parents was born. It's that simple. You can either get with it or you can go home. Right.
13 indoor titles.
Yeah, Clyde and Earl, big unk vibes.
Yeah,
but
man.
success.
So shout out to TSU, man. I believe that's what we have for HBCU news around the culture. Again, T's and P's. Shout out to Grambling with continuity. Howard swim team, Texas Southern's track team, and we highlighted the CIAA last week as well. I can't wait for March Madness is here. We can't wait for these conference tournings, these upsets. I'm claiming HBCU victory in the tournament.
Oh boy, Jackson State is putting up buckets. He one of the top 5 scorers in college basketball. Period.
Yes. And Bethune-Cookman, shout out to them. They won the regular season SWAC tournament. Regular season SWAC title. Shout out the men's. With the women's, shout out to Alabama A&M. They won the women's SWAC title. Shout out Shalomi. So we do want to highlight those. Basketball tournament season is upon us. About to have these conference tourneys. Y'all stay tuned. With that being said, we gonna be right back, or we gonna go straight into football?
No, we're gonna take a quick 60-second break. Everybody collect yourselves. We're gonna come back and talk some football. We're gonna have a little bit of interesting Falcon talk. But y'all know it's the off season. This is the warm up, and then basketball. Y'all see it. But yeah, we'll be back 60 seconds. Y'all mentally prepare your hearts and minds. Before we go though, remember, like, follow, subscribe, hit the little arrow. You got it. I'm not asking you to send it to your entire friend group, but at least your best friend, the person you truly care about. Hey, man, by the way, it's 2 fantastic guys. They have a great podcast.
Modesty gets you anyway. Send all. Copy all. We'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned.
And thank you.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our football segment of episode 221 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Tell a friend. Send all, copy all, reply all, forward all. We appreciate it.
Whoa, because we all work jobs, and most of us have pretty good jobs. Do not reply all, because I'm going to tell you, if I see you reply all at work, we going to make jokes about it. And the people at the job that not supposed to ever hear from you, they're on the reply all. Also, shout out to Ryan. Thank you for sending it to the folks.
Yes, sir.
I be talking bad about y'all on team. You see this clown reply all to the CEO? You idiot.
Oh, I have a story for that. Nope. I'll tell y'all offline. Debrief. With that being said,
post-production.
They got to learn discernment, man. We're back with our football segment of episode 221 of the SplashCast. We're going to start out with NCAA football. We have more money being spent, which I am going to introduce the topic first. I'm not going to talk first, and then I'm going to tell you I told you so. SMU has raised another $50 million for families combined to donate $50 million to the SMU Athlete Benefit Fund through the Mustang Partners Booster Club. This is a significant contribution designated for scholarships and NIL advancement, as well as revenue sharing, and provide direct support to SMU athletes. Let's just stop right there and scratch out the word scholarships. That is straight NIL money to the current players.
Salary.
Yes.
Let me check off a couple boxes here. Salary. This is on the heels of, remember, SMU just got moved up, and that's after they raised $100 million in about 5 days to buy themselves out of their last conference and join the ACC. Then you come in now. Last year, you can't raise the $100 million every year. What it seems like is they're gonna have boom or bust. So this year they raised a $50 million and they right back in it. It has been proven that if you can raise the money, as we talked about Texas Tech last year, it seems like you can buy your way into the conversation. And I know that everybody don't like it, but the NCAA could have paid players. So this is where it is. It is also Dallas. And we know that Dallas is oil money. And all of this together seems interesting.
SMU is the original pay to play. Like, these are godfathers. We wrote the book, and now y'all legalized the book that we wrote. Like, first off, I'm gonna let you know right now, this is not $50 million. This is actually going to turn into $100 million. Alongside this donation, the same four families launched something called the Boulevard Society. It's funny you bring up Texas Tech, because Texas Tech and the billionaire that they profiled did the exact same thing in NIL. And the initiative is aimed at further bolstering the university's athletic resources. So what they're trying to do is double it and get to $100 million by the end of the year. And they're trying to then establish themselves alongside the Mustang Partners of being the Boulevard Society to raise $100 million per year for SMU. So that whole thing of year on, year off, no, they doubling up, big dog.
Right. This is a power play, and the rest of you guys, I mean, SMU, they got money, but they ain't the only people with money. The rest of y'all could have done this too. It's a lot of y'all that's really embarrassing that have just kind of been looking around, trying to not do nothing, and you're just gonna let SMU and Texas Tech buy themselves right to the top, and you're gonna be looking like Boo Boo the Fool.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I told y'all, and this is where Reggie says, I told y'all. I told you so. As soon as NIL happened, there's a whole episode when they did this where I said the state of Texas is going to take this over. I literally said that, and everybody was like,
okay, you're right about that, but as much as Texas can do this, so can California.
Yeah, but Texas has multiple schools that can do this. So you have Texas Tech that's going to do this. You're going to have in Texas, oil money and California money a little bit different to me, because Texas don't have no state tax, right? So they're not paying any money when they give these people. It's more money that they're getting versus going to California.
Your dollars are stronger because you're not paying the tax. But also we're also talking to people who have the best lawyers and accountants in the world. Let's be real here. The money is all funny,
and
dress it up and make it real.
You saying, Texas Tech? I mean, look at Eastern Texas, San Antonio, whatever, Texas El Paso. They just bought some. Yeah, Texas San Antonio and Texas El Paso. Just put a bunch of money into that.
Right.
Just put a bunch of money into that. Texas A&M made the playoff by buying they bought rosters. They did it before. Right. They did it too early with Jimbo. And Jimbo probably sitting there like,
And they spent that $100 million on Jimbo, and it was like, no, this is too much. And now that's the cost.
Going rate.
Right.
The funny thing about this is, like everybody to figure it out. Well, no, I mean, look at Texas. They made it to the national championship game.
Lambos, baby, Lambos for everybody
on the field. They had Lambos on the field as you walk into the locker room. Bro, I told y'all. Now you're right. Texas.
I want to give these college football players a lot of credit. Y'all's self-control minus University of Georgia, has been really impressive. Them UGA boys get in them cars on the weekend. And they know where they going, and they home. You're going, and you're not going home, brother.
I start arguing. I used to be like, man, they targeting the brothers. They doing all that. They'd be like, yeah, he was going 125 and a 38 and a 35. Right. I'd be like,
in Athens, where are you going 130 miles per hour in Athens? You done drove through Athens.
You can't even play in the system. You could have made it to Atlanta in 30 minutes from Athens going 130 miles an hour. What you want me to say? I can't march for you. I can't put up the fist in the flag. What you want me to do? It is what it is. All right.
Never gave y'all that money.
And they get right on out. And that coach, they got an analyst that just go get the car.
They getting out before Monday too. They got a whole. I'm sure they got like a little football team court.
Car the day of, the night of, the analyst went and got the cars and brought them back and put them in the lot. No tow.
Empire filled gassed up and washed.
Vacuum. All right.
How's my car's cleaner than when the cops got me?
With that being said, we're gonna move on a little bit to really NFL. First, we're gonna start out with like the team cards, and then I'm gonna parlay that into Falcons Focus, and then we'll talk about some trades that happened to play it off. So the NFL has released the report cards, and now the NFL, well, they used to release the report cards. I believe this is the last year they're going to do it. They are getting rid of releasing report cards. The report cards are where they give grades to facilities, coaching, ownership, team management, GMs, everything. They grade everything about an organization from top to bottom and whether you want to play with them or not. And they seem to be very accurate, and the teams that normally suck are normally at the bottom of the list.
And the places that they suck the most, they're typically right.
Yes. But this is this goes hand in hand with the climate that we're in politically here. Exactly, Kev. Where people are no longer having accountability. We have it in politics, we have it in business. Now it's over here in sports, which is also
I don't think they're afraid of the accountability as much as the transparency. I think that they don't care about being accountable. I think that across the league, the Jets suck, and you know why the Jets suck. I think that they don't like that we as the fans, we can see that the play, like we come to our own assumption, or you'll hear from a player once he's moved on. But for the players there to say, hey man, this locker room sucks, or when it comes to New York Giants, this field sucks, or when it comes to the New York Jets, this ownership sucks.
Well, I agree with the audience when they say that's one and the same. I think transparency promotes accountability, right? So, for example, Cincinnati was ass for a long time, and they kind of were. And then, if you look at all of their team grades, most of their grades for a long time were really, really bad. Now, of course, they looked up with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins.
Yeah, I don't think the Jets are anywhere near account or ability. Not even in the ballpark.
I think
no. And they also said that Woody Johnson was one of the biggest people to try to get this stomped out.
Exactly. Why? Yeah. So you can't, because he don't want it. You can't see it. You can't hold me accountable. That is the MAGA way.
Fool me, can't get fooled again.
So the reason I brought this up, and I said I want to kind of parlay this into the Falcons. The Falcons had got.
Wait. Before we get into that, I do want to get a few comments from NFL players. JJ Watt says the NFL won't let actual players grade the workplace they attend every single day, but they allow third-party grading service to display their rankings of players on national television every Sunday night. And he is speaking directly to Pro Football Focus. That is ironic, because that means what's good for the goose is not, in fact, good for the gander.
And then the Falcons just did that and fired the whole staff. by getting a
And
third-party person to evaluate.
And then, well, what he's saying is every Sunday night you see when they show each player, they talk about where that person is graded by Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Focus has nothing to do with the NFL, but you put that into your broadcast. Now, this case, this is actually a report card from people who actually work at this place, and you're going to stop that. That is not lost on him. Then Alvin Kamara goes on to say, what are the players may want to tweet it out at the end of every year? I think that has a very high probability of that happening. I think that will be a great way for them to fight back, as they are continuously kind of pummeled and mistreated because of the large group of players, and they're looking to potentially add another game. You have Cam Jordan that says the NFL is upset that teams have been graded, judged, and coerced to update facilities, training staffs, weight rooms, necessities to keep the modern NFL athlete top tier. So what they want you to do is be elite, but they don't want to give you the resources. And these are from 3 legends. Cam Jordan is a Saints legend. Alvin Kamara is Saint legend. And J.J. Watt is the most lovable NFL player of all time.
Hall of Famer.
Right.
So, yeah, that's
this
right.
Ain't from chumps. This ain't from chumps.
And I like it, man. Hopefully this strengthens the union as well. You know, we always talk about the union in terms of basketball, football, and baseball, and hockey. And I think football, because of just the sheer size of the union, is probably there's a lot more opportunities to have chinks in the armor. But when stuff like this happens, this kind of galvanizes the group. So you'll start to see some more negotiations.
I appreciate J.J. Watt standing in the gap. Actually, all of these guys, because they're considered elder statesmen. They're not really players. JJ's retired. Alvin Kamara is
kind of out of the firing range too.
Yeah, that's what you have to do, specifically in an organization like this, where they will definitely blackball you, i.e. Colin Kaepernick, etc., for speaking your mind about these type of things. You got guys who are essentially untouchable. Alvin Kamara is on the other side of his career. Cam Jordan is a Saints legend. There's nothing you can do to him. He's going to leave on his own time. And I think that is a responsibility to specifically all really older, accomplished athletes, but specifically in the NFL, where you can't do a whole lot of talking because they'll make you disappear, that you guys got to stand up. And I think, and I'm going to say this, it needs to come from the quarterbacks. Peyton Manning, this would be a great time for you to say something. Tom Brady, this would be a great time for you to say something. Drew Brees, it would be a great time for you to say something. Ben Roethlisberger, shut the hell up.
Ironically, the quarterback that probably speaks out the most against the things that owners are doing from a union negotiation standpoint in the recent history has been Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
He used to be on McAfee saying this was a terrible deal. This does nothing for the players that are at the bottom of the roster, mid roster, trying to make the team practice squad. This just gives me more money.
Right.
So you're right, man. You definitely need more output from all of the legends. With that being said, all right, so we got the Falcons card. Falcons card, real quick. I'll kind of summarize it. The best things that we had were, of course, the nutritionists, dietitians, training, the training staff, and strength coaches have always been pretty much up there. Position coaches, team travel, team ownership. Arthur Blank is very well thought of. The general manager and, ironically, the head coach got a B+. But of course, our worst grades is home game field and offensive coordinator.
And I think that C- is an F.
Here's why I'm exasperated. We got a C- for offensive coordinator. You want to know who was worse?
Who?
The Cleveland Browns. You know who the Cleveland Browns offensive coordinator was? Tommy Rees. You know who's the Falcons' new offensive coordinator is?
Big Rees.
Tommy Rees. You know who was the worst team graded? The Cleveland Browns. You know who the head coach was the worst graded coach of this list?
Kevin Stefanski.
Kevin Got Dog Stefanski. You know who has the worst special teams on this list? The Cleveland Browns. We just hired the worst coaching staff as voted on by everybody's peers.
I take that with a grain of salt because if you go back and look at these report cards, I'm sure Cleveland has been failing as long as they've been giving grades out.
Then why hire them?
I don't think all of it goes back to we think organizationally Cleveland is just terrible. And not we. I'm saying cumulatively the NFL, everybody involved in football, top down. And we have proof because we see how the Milwaukee Bucks are currently being run. So outside of really the Milwaukee Bucks drafting one of the greatest basketball players of all time, they've been run pretty poorly too. So it's consistent that it's Jimmy Haslam. The other part about this is that the Atlanta Falcons, the Atlanta teams are all about the same. They've all done a really good job with facilities. They've done a really good job with player treatment, all of that. And everybody doesn't have that. And I think sometimes we take that for granted. I know that it's rough. It's a I'm gonna say it's a fucking fight to be an Atlanta fan for any sports team. Hell, including the Braves. We just got a couple championships. But I do really appreciate that all of these organizations really give an effort because all of these organizations don't. And I know it's not everything that we want all the time, but that's how you get a Jesse Bates. You do these type of things right here. And hopefully, we're able to keep players and grow players. And it takes doing this type of stuff. Now, I don't know what they mean by home game field. I don't know what there isn't to like about the field at Mercedes-Benz.
I don't know. I would probably have to read more in depth to that. And I could probably circle back with y'all during the week about that.
Right.
But for the most part, they've been pretty consistent with just about everything, including special teams coordinator beating the C+. With that being said, before we move on to NFL, we got a couple more things I wanted to highlight. It's been a tough offseason for the Falcons. To say
every offseason is tough.
Not like this one. We factory reset our entire coaching staff, our entire executive staff and coaching staff. We made controversial
last year.
Huh?
You remember last year when our defensive coordinator's kids was calling players?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, but I'm telling you, it's not as worse as this month. Now, let me finish. So then
wait, there's more.
Our defensive coordinator or our passing game defensive coordinator leaves to go to Cleveland. We hire a coach that we made a questionable hire at coach again. We shuffled our executive branch. We then bring in an assistant D-line coach after securing our very sought-after defensive line coach, who brought in the assistant D-line coach who was fired after 17 days because of legal issues.
You're going to jail.
Not to mention our star rookie defensive end also in legal issues. So y'all please pray for the
jail too.
Big jail. Witness jail. Corroborated stories jail. Falcons are in an uphill battle. Maybe you know how we feel about the Juju. Maybe that's why the Braves and the Hawks doing well, because we can't have all three nice things. So
one kid gonna act out for sure. And right now it is the Falcons.
Yep. And we also have new jerseys though. We got some new jerseys, red helmets. They get premiered on April 2nd, one day after my birthday. If y'all love me and want to send me something for my birthday, just donate to the SplashCast. That's all I have.
Well, yeah, but y'all need to see, because last time we said we was getting new jerseys and we got FUBU jerseys. And
we definitely, the whole city of Atlanta had FUBU jerseys. The Falcons had them jerseys with the highlighter, green outlines.
No, the Hawks. Time. That's the Hawks.
I mean the Hawks. The Falcons had the FUBU jerseys. The Hawks had the highlighter jerseys with the squares that look like a workout mat, right? In the block letters.
Y'all got to show me. And the thing that, And this is the thing that continuously, as much as all of these organizations do really well with a lot of things, it's when it comes to the things to really represent the city that they do such a good job of missing the mark. It's like they almost try to be like, and I said that on purpose, just the way that I did, that Atlanta and the state of Georgia is rich in beautiful culture and design. And then we go get something that look like, what the right? It's like, who came up with yes? Designed by somebody who grew up in Alpharetta.
Yeah.
Cartersville. You know, and it's like, do you not know? Like, and Atlanta is home of so many different people who could do a really good job and so creative. And then you just go outsource it to somebody who that frustrates the life out of me. So I'm not getting excited till I see it. I saw Bijan, I saw some other player reactions. They pay y'all a lot of money. You better react. It's the same way that when my job sends me something, that I'll be like, oh, great, this is beautiful. I don't really believe that, but I need my paycheck to be there when it's going to be there. So I got to act accordingly. So, yeah, that's where I am on that. I'll wait and see, and then I'll see and wait.
Yeah, and y'all know, now moving on, this is my season, draft season. So y'all please be on the lookout. We're not going to get in depth tonight because, I can talk about this for hours. I will be getting back on and kind of going through our draft analysis and combine discussions now that the combine is over. Be on the lookout for TikTok and Instagram live during the day when I have time. We did say that we were going to release a few folks. Tyler Algier is going to be one of them.
We sure he's gone? I ain't gonna lie. Also, I was kind of looking forward to this. Y'all know basketball, draft, all of that's my thing. Combine, especially the Atlanta Falcons, is Reggie's thing. And I just knew we was finna come in here because I keep seeing, I heard this is the fastest draft class in NFL history.
Oh, we can do it. I'm ready.
No. I want to give you your time to collect yourself and put this together, but I am, and I'm excited as I'm doing basketball mock drafts. I'm excited to hear what Reggie has to say and prepare us for the Falcons combine and visits and all of this.
Well, combine's already happened, but yeah, this is.
I'm talking about combine results, though. I know you have some guys who you saw that you really like. That we're linked
bunch of them. But this is definitely the fact. We are in the midst of evolution, sports evolution. Millennials, Gen X, Gen Z folks, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, y'all ain't really been here long enough to appreciate what you're seeing. But we are seeing the fastest everything every year. The fastest D lineman, the fastest wide receiver, the tall Wimby. We are seeing evolution.
I want to push back a little bit evolution. I think it's more of just a change. Because one thing that I have really been looking at and I haven't been able to quite is yes, people are faster, but their core strength is not what it used to be. If you look at the old NBA players, they used to look like grown men at 22 years old, 23 years old with receding hairlines, and everybody was strong as Karl Malone. We don't have any of those guys anymore. And I think that's why a lot of these guys are injured more. You don't like Jalen Duren would have been a big center, but a relatively normal center in the NBA in the 90s. Now it's like, I mean, they just don't have that level of strength. It ain't a whole lot of biceps in the NBA no more.
Well, it's the evolution of the rules of the game as well. So I mean, you could in NBA and NFL. You mean you used to have 260-pound running linebackers and hitting 240-pound running backs.
You're right.
Diablo was 215 because the game has evolved.
Right.
You won't see a giant Ray Lewis. I mean, Tremaine Edmonds is 6'4", 240, and he just got released. And he's not saying he's not bad, but it's just that the game has changed with the way that you in basketball you can't impede progress anymore. Why I gotta put on muscle? I just gotta get around you. You can't hit me. You can't touch me. In football, you can't jam me at the line. I don't need to be Terrell Owens.
I think that's also the reason we have so many of these soft tissue injuries.
Correct.
Then you look at what's old boy that he played linebacker. He ain't got no neck. I cannot think he's from Georgia, from the state of Georgia.
Thomas Davis?
Yeah, not Thomas Davis. It'll come to me. But you don't have those type of guys anymore. I'll come up with his name here.
Currently. He went to Auburn to kill fights.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, those type of things. He was never gonna get concussed. not trying to be funny, but that was a big fear of his, is having a concussion. So he paused, worked out his neck every day. And that's a lot of the reason, like, oh yeah, if you don't have that muscle, then yeah. And I think the same thing, if you look at these guys, they're taller. You're right. And it seems like, especially in basketball, you're going to get a new 7-foot Frenchman every day. I don't know how they get all the way to 15 before they start playing basketball, but I guess that's the thing. But it's more of that.
Government experiment, bro. Ain't no way they growing 7 feet to 7 feet from 5 feet in 6 months, and they play at 15.
GMOs.
Government experiment. I told you.
Fair enough. But that's my thing. And y'all know how I typically like the thing behind the thing. I think that's something we should definitely be watching. Is it's a leaner time now in all sports. There's not really a whole lot of sports where you're like, oh, that guy's, brolic.
Not anymore.
It's a thing of the past.
The rules are taking that out. Now, I think you'll see a change once the rules change, because you eventually folks are going to get tired of it. But
I think it's going to be very similar. I think it's going to be very similar to how there's an overcorrection of tall people now in sports, where it's like, oh, well, we want smaller guys because they're more skilled. And then you'd be like, well, I'm going to be tall and skilled. Well, little people, they've removed baseball. You guys from the game. Yeah.
Baseball. Moving on, man. We're going to go to Houston real quick. Houston has been wheeling and dealing all week. They traded Titus Howard to the Cleveland Browns for a 5th-round pick, I believe. Titus Howard, HBCU legend, Alabama A&M University.
Yep. Oh, well, we did lose Reggie, possibly, at least momentarily. With that being said, I do find it interesting that the Texans have kind of been moving through this offensive line. And that's the reason this deal is a little weird for me for Cleveland, because, last year they traded Laramie Tunsil and they got the haul of picks. And their offensive line wasn't necessarily great this year. And they have come back and traded this new offensive lineman, and Cleveland's kind of thrilled about getting this offensive lineman and signing him to a 3-year contract. And I'm like, y'all kind of signing their leftovers for a 5th-round pick. I think that the Texans are going to be intentional about finding the guys to protect CJ Stroud. Hopefully that makes them a little bit better. But until then, they're focused on playing 2K, as I like to say. And if this guy's not working, we'll get him out of here. We'll get somebody else in here until we find the right fit. And I think that you should, and you're going to have to consistently do that, specifically when you got a quarterback. And for whatever reason, especially in these last few games, he just wasn't himself. You got to do a job of protecting him and hope that is the answer, is him being a little bit more available to be able to do what he needs to do without having the pressure. Next up, David Montgomery was traded from the Lions. They were considering cutting him, but they were able to come to a trade deal. This is interesting because you got to hope that he doesn't go somewhere and flourish, and he is headed to the Houston Texans to do just that. He was a really good player for the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have found themselves in a rather precarious situation after losing basically all of their assistant coaches, where they're trying to find their mojo back. But this is a casualty and another loss for a team that's trying to find it. And I think that this is a fantastic pickup for the Texans. Does look like Reggie has joined us again.
Yeah, let's go back to Titus Howard real quick. My bad. I don't know what happened. Everything just cut off. My internet cut off. I cycled. I don't know. But Titus Howard, shout out to him. He got traded. So then they got a 5th round pick, and they ended up using some picks that they already got, and they traded for David Montgomery, who was, I won't say angry, was disgruntled in Detroit. And I won't even say this. I think disgruntled may be too strong a word. I think he just saw the writing on the wall. Jahmyr Gibbs is that guy, kind of like Tyler Algier. He's in the same precarious position. So they made that move. Houston needs CJ Stroud needs a run game. Joe Mixon has been hurt. He needs a run game. You saw it in the playoffs. When you can't run the ball, then they just press man and blitz, and there's nothing you can do. He needs to be able to run play action pass. You're correct. I did hear you say, as I came in, that they are trying to replace all of those great coordinators that they had. I have all the utmost faith in DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco, go look at Ryan Nielsen. Go look at him.
Yeah.
So the you're gonna start seeing more, and this is why I love the draft and around draft time, especially in basketball and football. You're gonna see more and more transactions coming out because there's a lot of veteran players. It's a lot of cap, even though the cap is going up. I think it went up $20 million again. The cap's going up in football and basketball. It's a lot of maneuvering that's going to have to happen.
Yeah, I think it's $300 million in the NFL. And this trade is actually a really good trade for both parties. This allows the Lions to not just let him walk out of their building and not get anything in return. And if you're going to go somewhere, the Houston Texans, for a myriad of reasons, is a great place to be.
And you get to be the workhorse that you are. And again, he's not old. I don't even think he's 30 yet. He might be.
Right.
He might be,
and you get to be the workhorse with a competent young quarterback with potentially could be a stable of wide receivers. So it's not like you against the world type of thing, and you got to beat them. You also have a very, very, very good coach and an elite defense. That puts you in all of that means it's spread even. You don't have to be a world beater. You can do your job, and you have a high chance of success,
baby.
Exactly.
We just need to get 3.5 yards per rush. If you can do that, keep the chains moving. Our defense is going. They got Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter and all of those guys. They just and they all young. They just released Jimmy Ward, and they're gonna keep Bullock on the field. So this team, Houston as well. I can't wait for the rest of the moves that'll start happening. With that being said.
Anything else we got for football?
No, that's it. We went through. I did have some combine visits, but again, I'm going to talk about that when the Falcons during the week. Make sure y'all tune in. We're going to take a quick break because I don't know what just happened. I got kicked out. And then we'll be back for basketball. And y'all know what that is. That is Norwood's. And he will lead the charge there.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little Magic City in there. How about that? Heard y'all like Magic City on a Monday. Mind your business, Luke. We'll be back. And
we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our final. With our final segment of episode 2021. I'm sorry, 2021, Lord. Not the year. Episode 221 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw.
Our
basketball segment. 2021 was that was COVID. Nope.
What is not go back to the global pandemic.
WNBA, Hawks Talk, NBA, all that good stuff. Where you want to start, Norwood?
All right, friends, Romans, countrymen. Let's sit down here and let's have a couple conversations. We're going to get a couple things done here. It's going to be a time. Let's start with the ladies. We're going to start with fantastic news. The WNBA turns a profit for the first time ever, giving each team $8 million back. This is fantastic, especially for all of the naysayers that always say, oh, well, what about the fact that the WNBA isn't profitable? Now, shut up. It is. This is very important. This is coming on the heels of Unrivaled, who has been putting on a masterful show. I think that this is actually good for both parties when it comes to what we believe to be an upcoming lockout. This is at least a good place to start. If you're an owner, you got to be happy when you make money. And, as a player, you want to put out a product that is profitable. It always shows your sustainability and value. So this was great for all parties involved. Of course, there's going to be the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark effect, all of these things. But overall, I think this is really good for a really good league. What do you think, Reg?
Yeah, Kev just said that perfectly. I'm going to throw this up there real quick. He said, this is what happens when people go to and watch the games as well as better marketing. The WNBA, I want to say NBA, but the next story might not lend to that, has made a significant investment into the WNBA marketing share. And what that does is create notoriety. You build, and then they've also embraced the NCAA. So now you're building these. Are you there? Okay. Now you're building these teams, and the players have notoriety coming from South Carolina, Baylor, LSU, where'd she go? Indiana? No, Purdue, Notre Dame. All of these, you're able to build the relationship. Yeah, I said LSU. You're able to build the relationship with the players. So that this has almost been like a 5 to 7 year case study, right? And it's finally working off and paying off. Now, WNBA, y'all can't, it's a good faith gesture. This may get them to the table, but y'all better keep the momentum. Otherwise, you are going, like Norwood said, you are going to have that lockout. And Unrivaled is showing you how to do it.
Right. And I think that, don't lose your league to Unrivaled because they'll do it. And as we talk about with Dawn Staley, it is infinitely more important today than ever before to be able to pay these girls a living wage so that they do not have to go overseas to risk life and limb to play basketball and take care of their families. It is
Breanna Stewart. That's a big deal.
Yes. And all of this, specifically with what we have going on and what I assume politically is what's going to happen for the next 4 years, I don't think the rest of the world is going to be the biggest fans of Americans. So having to send these girls somewhere else in order to make a wage so that they can take care of their families, y'all going to have to do this. I know that you may not like this, but that is the current state of events. And sometimes things out of your control influence your business and your money, and that's where we are. With that being said, we then had this piece of news fall out of the sky. Adam Silver has not been at the table for any of the meetings in person or on Zoom for the CBA meetings between the WNBA and the players and the Women's Players Association. This is disappointing. Adam Silver, number one, the NBA's financial interest in the WNBA, you should be there. As an act of good faith, you should be there. And I'm not saying you have to be at everything, but you should be at something. And you not showing up for the women definitely puts you in a precarious situation. Now, I know you have your own infinite number of things to happen, but you are the leader, you are the figurehead, and essentially you're kind of the leader of the WNBA because of how much money that you guys invest. So yeah, you need to make your face present, and I appreciate Breanna Stewart for saying what needs to be said, because otherwise nobody would have known.
I agree, first off, that he has a lot of things on his plate. But to me, and this is something that I kind of hold true to, like everything in life, is priorities, right? I guarantee you Adam Silver hasn't missed not one meeting with the casinos and the gambling and all of that stuff that has introduced itself into the sports world, right? And right, Kev, that's what we talked about earlier. Breonna Stewart signed overseas and then dropped this bit of news. So for me, if I'm the WNBA and I'm the Players Association, I do feel slighted. I feel slighted. You guys are you are our major investors. There ain't no other. We have investors now, as you said, they just turned a profit to $8 million. But for a long time, you were footing the bill,
and you still gonna foot the majority of the bill, brother, whether you there or not. So and this is the thing. I want to be clear about this part. Yeah, they're footing the bill, but they're also using this as marketing. This is how you sell sneakers. This is how you sell jerseys. This is how you bring women to the game of basketball. That's going to bring more people to the NBA, it being the larger organization. So this investment is paying off for you. So yeah, you should do what's right and show up for these people.
And to me, and what I was saying was, to me, if I were making this much of an investment, and I'm asking all of my partners and people that employ me and the board to make all of this investment, I would like to have somebody there. I would like to be there at least some of the time, even if it's about morale and team building. I would like to have that there as well. And you kind of got the blueprint of how to build out a world league, right? You're literally making the NBA a world type organization, meaning it's not just in the USA. You're not playing games abroad. You have NBA Africa. You have all of these things, these outreach programs and everything that's going on. You have more international players than ever before. You are literally writing the playbook. It's like with us with the podcast. We have literally done it for 5 years. We know just about everything that can go wrong. And then something like today happens and you just kind of move with it. But you have the playbook as the NBA. Why not show up and try to institute that playbook with the WNBA?
And I mean, you bring that up, and you're right about NBA Africa, but they're also in current works of trying to drop a league into Europe right now, like this very moment. So, number one, you're going to be looking for more women to be interested in the game, right? This is a perfect way to do it. So, and I know it's not a ton of money to the NBA owners, but it's still a few million. Everybody's got to pitch in their part. Yeah, if I'm sending, y'all know how I am. If I'm sending my money over there, I want to know, hey, somebody needs to go over there and see what's going on. If not you, then you better earmark a representative who says, hey, I'm coming and speaking on behalf of the NBA, because we sending money over there. So, yeah, if I was an NBA owner, I don't know if you can say, hey, you need to do this because of the amount of money that they're bringing in, but somebody should tap you and say, hey, man, I'm still sending money over there. Least you could do is, I mean, we send money to Hampton and I go look. I go see what y'all got going on. And I think that any person who's investing in something else, somebody should be over there looking, and you need to show up, because we all know that this is headed for a lockout. If you can do anything to stop this from breaking down and us all losing money, then Adam, take your ass over there.
Or even mitigate it, right? You don't have to have a 99-day lockout. You could have a 15-day lockout.
Exactly. You could have went one of them days. I'm not saying go every day, and it's good for you. You've done a lot of good, but it's a lot of things people question you about. So yeah, it would be some good PR for you as well.
He'll be there. NBA's reactionary. He'll be at the next one. Watch.
Oh yeah. He's been called out now, which sucks. It's like, damn, we got to embarrass you for you to do something.
Yes, that's how you raise children.
Right. Well, next up, I really appreciate this. Dawn Staley is pushing to get all of her former players out of Israel. She's called it a war zone, which it is. I will tell y'all, I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw this lady, And, she was I thought she was just a black lady over there. So I'm watching, and she's telling us how she's basically going to a bunker where they have a bunch of people so that they can protect themselves against all the bombs and drones. And you get to the end, and she gets down. She actually gets down. She's talking to the people that get her into the bunker. Then she explains she's a women's basketball player. And you're like, oh shit,
you forgot about that.
No, I didn't. No. I didn't catch her first story. I caught her mid-walk already. Then she got to the end and she explained it. And I was like, I just thought it was a person trying to be safe. Then when she said, oh yeah, and I play basketball over here, it's scary. I was like, oh wow, that kind of.
I think she went to South Carolina.
I think so too. Yeah. But it was just scary because she was a human, and then everything folds together at the end, and you're like, oh, she's over there. She's not just over there to be over there. She's over there for work because she's a basketball player. That is very scary. And yeah, I appreciate Dawn using her voice and her resources to try to get people out of there. And this is the reason that the WNBA has to come to a reasonable pay range for these girls, women, so that they don't have to play in these type of places. I mean, we just lost Brittany Griner for however long that was. It wasn't war, but it was a risk that did not need to be taken had she been paid reasonably. But if you got to go over there, then that's where you got to go. Then you end up in a prison camp and all these type of things. That's too far. It's too far.
It's just unnecessary risk. Unnecessary risk of you having to go overseas. And it's not even about paying us more salary, I'm speaking as if I'm part of the WNBA, not even paying them more salary. They just want revenue sharing, right? They want to have the popularity has grown so much. They want to have part of the revenue too. Just equal revenue, not equal, just a correct revenue sharing model. And if you can't deliver that, they have to go overseas because they don't work for 6 months. You don't pay them a much. How many people do you know that make less than $100,000 take 6 months off?
Right.
None.
And let's be real, there are not enough teams for this league. So you have literally first round draft picks. They can't make a team. Then I have to go to a different country to play basketball. You want to know who doesn't have that problem? Anybody who plays for the Kentucky Wildcats. John Calipari's kids never have to be like, you know what? I'm going to have to go over somewhere else to play. No, they're going to pay them enough money that they can live, and they win. Cal wasn't winning with the Wildcats. Now, were they getting paid a lot of money? Sure. These girls are champions, multi-time champions.
Yeah, WNBA, you between a rock and a hard place, and that is the unrivaled in college basketball because they paying these folks, and you are not.
And the thing that they said was, if you can't do it, then get out of the way. Because we can do it. And guess what? We got proof of concept right over here at Unrivaled. So you can't even say it's not possible. We did it. And if you're saying that you don't have the capability or the bandwidth or whatever it is, move. That's where it gets embarrassing.
Yep.
Now,
y'all better figure it out. Powers that be, WNBA and NBA.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, it's on the way. That Unrivaled is working, and all they have to do is expand to 5-on-5. It's already there.
Right. Or they don't have to. More three girl teams.
Either way, expansion. It's gonna happen. It's there.
Exactly. With that, let's go here for a little bit. So, we made it through the trade deadline. The Atlanta Hawks have a roster that will not change. After today, it won't change. Today was the last day for players to be signed to two-way contracts. I think we got Koloko, and I can't remember who else we have on two-way contract, but that's it. This will
no,
yeah, definitely. But this will be the roster going forward. This is what the team will look like. We've won 4 games in a row, dating back to last week when we beat Brooklyn in a game that was relatively disappointing to me, but we got it done. Ever since then, we've looked like a new team. Last Tuesday, we beat the Washington Wizards 119-98. This was the original. Nope. No, did not mean to do that.
Kuminga.
Right. There we go. And then this was the original Kuminga game. I am going to shout out Lil Boosie. He and I were the first people to be like, well, if y'all don't want him, we will take him. And that was on April 18, 2025. On Tuesday, February, whatever that was, 2026, he gave us 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 9 of 12 shooting. He missed 3 shots for the game and scored 27 points. That is cooking. This was against a Wizards team that nobody played on. And I do want to temper the expectations, but I can confidently say that we would not have gotten this out of Kristaps Porzingis. I feel very convicted in saying that there ain't no way in hell we would have got it. And then if we would have got it for 1 game, you would have played for 11 more games. So I appreciate Kristaps Porzingis as being a vehicle to get rid of the terrible Terrence Mann contract, and I'm going to say that every week because Terrence Mann don't play on that Nets team, and he is terrible. Awful. I appreciate Kristaps.
I don't think he's terrible. I just think he's not worth the contract. He's decent.
I don't know what it. Oh, not at $14 million. So this was game 1. I'm not going to spend as much time as I typically do on breaking down each one of these games because these games are what I consider glorified practices. The Wizards don't have anybody. They don't really have any bigs. They're not trying to play anybody. Well, they were not trying to play anybody. And they're just letting their young guys really go for it. It was a chippy game or two. Reggie's boy played really well. Will Riley's went 7 of 8. I can't lie. I am a big fan of his. But overall, we just whooped the Wizards' ass. Game 1. Then, shout out to the schedule, played them again on Thursday. This was the CJ McCollum, Corey Kispert revenge game. CJ went for 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Corey Kispert, career high, 33 points, 6 rebounds, 6 3-point made, and he made 4 of them.
First 5.
Yeah. Was it first 5? He couldn't miss at first. I told y'all, and I think that this is actually a pretty good comparison. Corey Kispert also getting paid $14 million. I think way more of Corey Kispert at $14 million than Terrence Mann at $14 million. And I know that everybody doesn't love Corey Kispert because his defense is not great, but he is a shooter. He is physically a little bit more imposing. He ain't afraid.
I will say he closed out on that 3 though. He might. You might get around him.
Right. He gonna close out on a 3. He's sneakily athletic. He will try to dunk on you. And in this game specifically, this entire team did Champagnie so bad. And Corey Kispert had a crushing block on Champagnie, who had missed dunks. He looked like he was ready to be done with basketball that night. You know, sometimes you're just like, bruh, cumulatively, they've whooped my ass. And the Atlanta Hawks did him some type of terrible. Kuminga had 19 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 17 points, excuse me. You know, that was one of the big things about him was he don't pass the ball. He's consistently giving us 3, 4, 5 assists a game. He's not been a ball stopper in practice so far, and I appreciate that. And I'm going to call all these games somewhere between a practice and a scrimmage because we haven't played anybody real yet. Also, another fantastic Dyson Daniels / Ben Simmons game. 13 points, 11 assists, and 5 steals, 4 rebounds, and a block. I saw somewhere on the internet where they say that Dyson Daniels' offensive game has regressed. I had to get them right immediately. His offensive game has not regressed. He's been given a new offensive responsibility. And Dyson Daniels has shown on multiple occasions he can put up 9, 10, 11 assists. That is growing your offensive game from a guy who was basically just a shooting guard / ball, like a on-ball defender, to now running an offense. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. Has he improved everywhere except for shooting? Absolutely. Fantastic game. We won this game 126-96. Corey and CJ just beat them early, and it was over. Kuminga and Dyson and more just enjoyed harassing the Wizards. And then finally, or yesterday, the team as a whole stomped a mud hole in the Blazers. Now, the Blazers were, of course, without Dame. They were also without Shaedon Sharp. They were without Robert Williams, which played a major part in Okongwu cutting their ass. And Denny Avdija was out with a bad back. Okongwu, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 7 3-pointers. No Robert Williams, basically left them with one center. And Donovan Clingan, while he is 8 feet tall, he is not a perimeter defender. He's a drop center. And you basically just left Okongwu at the top of the key to shoot threes. And it's weird to me because even if you watch him shoot, he doesn't look like a shooter. But I think he's a shooter.
He's a better shooter than like Draymond. Like, you can't leave him open. Like, you can't leave him open. He was talking to the bench. He was like, that's one. Right. That's two. And somebody feels disrespected, and you can call them a shooter because they feel disrespected when you leave them open. And he was talking to the bench like, yo, y'all not gonna put nobody out here? Right. Apparently, and he was like going 6, 7.
Apparently he has a relationship with one of the Blazers assistant coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was harassing him with that. And I appreciate that, especially after, he got his face knocked off, to kind of come back. And this has been the Blazers' strategy with him for multiple games, is to basically just let him shoot and then not having Robert Williams like the nail in the coffin. I will say this was not a great Jalen Johnson game. I think that the thing that they were able to do since Okongwu was going to be up, it was just drop it. Clingan was just going to sit in the paint. And that makes it pretty difficult on Jalen. And that's the reason some nights ain't going to be your night. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 15 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Jonathan Kuminga, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists on 10 shots. 10 shots, 20 points, would take that every time. CJ McCollum, 19 points, 5 assists. Jock Landale, 14 points, 5 rebounds. Dyson Daniels with another Ben Simmons game, 12 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. Landale has been really good in the paint as a scorer. His defense waxes and wanes. He can still space the floor and shoot the 3. This is really good because Jalen Johnson, even though he did not have a good game, he had 8 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, but allowed everybody else to flourish. And that's been the biggest change in the new regime, is if it's not your night, and I've always said this, then let it be somebody else's night. And that seems like where we're moving in this egalitarian basketball is, if you're open, shoot the shot, just make it. And when it's not your night, find something else you can do on the floor, then score. And I appreciate the 8 rebounds and 8 assists. I know I said a lot, but what you thinking?
No, I've taken a new approach. I actually didn't think you were not going to do the full breakdown.
These games is practices, dog. These games is practices.
Even on all the games, that's cool with me because I don't need to know that Keaton Wallace had 2 points. But like, that boy get all the way. I'd be like, yeah, we had a DMP from. I'd be like, man. But I wanted you to go through the games because I do have some notes. First off, for this game specifically against the Blazers, Kuminga had 2 of the best dunks in that I can remember in other than Jalen. He had a drop step, switch from the right hand to the left hand over the Blazers rookie center from China. He also
Yang.
had a 2-hand get out of the way dunk like right before. But the person I want to highlight the most for these 3 games, I kind of have it in a 3-game thing. Dyson Daniels over the last 4 games, 33 assists, 2 turnovers, 13 steals. If you give me 33 assists, that's almost 9 a game. That's 8 a game. With 2 turnovers and 13 steals, that's like plus 15 per game, plus 20 per game.
And y'all talking about 3-pointers? Don't shoot them. Don't shoot them. I don't care.
And for me, I don't know if his offensive game will come around this year, but I see Dyson Daniels being like the next in this offense. And I don't know if Quinn will be our coach, but the way that he plays being the one, he's going to be the next guy that spams triple doubles.
He's Ben Simmons, just a smaller version.
Russell Westbrook. Westbrook may get to 30, 20, and 20. That ain't gonna happen with him.
His triple double is gonna be like Draymond triple doubles. You're right.
It's gonna be 12, 10, 10, 10 because there's so many places that he can distribute the ball and he's figuring it out. But also he lives in the paint. Like in this game, he's finally, if you're seeing it's no more 4-point games, it's like 12, 14, 10 because he's gotten the floater back. So once he adds shooting the open shot, then all of a sudden you are in an interesting situation because now you have these 6 people that can all shoot, if assuming that Dyson get there. But even if Dyson can't shoot, Jalen Johnson isn't even on this graphic because Jalen Johnson the past 2 games has had a rough go of it. And that's just part of it. You have different players that are coming in. You're bringing
and remember, he also had the little hip flexor. I'm not sure if he's 100% either. So, but
that's what I was about to get to next. He was a little banged up and he sat out. So, I mean, at this point, Jalen is struggling a bit, but Dyson Daniels has played really, really well and really efficiently. Let's talk about Kuminga's impact so far. To me, well, let me ask you first. What do you think about his impact on the game so far?
I want it once again. Y'all know I don't get too high or too low. I want to say this again. We're right now. These have been great practices. We have not played against anything that's a real basketball team. Now, I also think that we are owed that because of how rigorous the schedule was. It's just like everything. The pendulum going to swing each way. I do think I've liked what I've seen. He's physical. He gets downhill. He's not a ball stopper. He hasn't shot a bunch of shots. I think I've only seen 1 or 2 shots like, we don't like that shot. And he's getting to the line a lot. And we haven't really had a lot of guys who can finish through contact in a long time. I mean, even like when we had John Collins, he wasn't really great at finishing through contact. He might get a couple free throws, but he wasn't going to finish. And Kuminga is consistently getting there. At one point, I think first, second quarter, he had 6 or 7 free throws. That gives us a new wrinkle. And I think that eventually it was tough to watch him and Jalen play. I don't think Jalen's 100%, and they've never been on the court together. But I think that's the next kind of thing that can be unlocked is if you can play him and Jalen at the same time. But even right now, if you're just going to guarantee me that either Kuminga or Jalen Johnson will be on the floor, I think that whoever else is on the floor should be thrilled.
Yeah, for me, I agree with a lot of the points you said. I don't think he belongs on the bench. And again, yes, Jalen has been struggling and he's been hurt, But again, I don't think he belongs on the bench. I like, as much as his impact is on the court, I've noticed a few things off the court and just from the way that he plays, kind of his intangibles is something that
You can tell that he appreciates playing, like, just, hey, I get to play again and I get to play in a new situation. And I do think that the style of basketball that we play, because our number one player isn't a ball hog, that he's thrilled with the opportunity. Like, oh, well, yeah, I can get in, kind of get my shot, and everything's moving and the pace is way better. The system is just better than what was happening in Golden State.
right. Well, so that's what I was getting to. His intangibles. So he's coaching up Zachary Ricochet, who has been going. He's had a sophomore slump, and although he's had a sophomore slump, I've noticed since Kuminga has played and they've been playing kind of together more, is Ricochet is doing a lot of the little things. So one, Ricochet is wildly athletic. He's way more athletic than I gave him credit for. I think with Kuminga helping him out, I think Ricochet should go to the bench, and I think Kuminga should be the 3, and I think that'll probably be the overall plan. But also the way that Kuminga plays, you can tell that he's more used to a free-flowing offense. And as much as we talk about Steve Kerr not developing, the style of basketball that they play translates with him. He's at the top of the key. He's telling players to go. He's moving players out of the way. He's directing traffic, trying to get people to move, and he doesn't hold the ball. I think he did it twice, and one of them was a grenade where they gave him the ball with 4 seconds left. So to me, his impact to me, if he can get Zachary Ricochet to accept coming off the bench and keep his confidence up, because he's been there. He's like, bro, I can do this. I was doing this when I was in Golden State. They just didn't play me. I think that could be profound. And you're right. I would love to, and that's the next step, is to love to see him on the court with Jalen. I think for him to see him on the court with Jalen, we have to figure out a way to get him to play off the ball.
Good point, Kev.
Yeah, he did learn a lot from Draymond. You're right. Play off the ball.
And Jimmy. Like, those are two guys who are real basketballers. I mean, still, even if you don't like Steve Kerr, the Golden State Warriors they're good at basketball. And the process of basketball, and you're watching the greatest shooter of all time up close and personal every day. You're watching a basketball savant in Draymond Green. You're watching arguably the best, bar none, competitor of his era in Jimmy Butler. Yeah, that's a great group to sit with every day and create rage.
But for me, what I was saying was like getting them used to being on the court. Jalen is going to have the ball in his hands, and if it's not Jalen, it's going to be probably Dyson if they're on the court together and he starts. What I need to see, and what I'm charging Quinn with figuring out, is that means you're going to have to get Nickeil Alexander-Walker used to playing without the ball more. You're going to have, because there's only so much dribbling you can do. So with Jalen, Dyson, and Kuminga, even though Kuminga is probably more adept to cutting and maybe hitting a corner 3 or getting downhill, catching the ball on the go, you're going to have to figure out a way to accentuate that. That is something that I'm eager to see, especially for the rest of our schedule. I think we talked about this before. April is, depending on standings and how things play out, could be a gauntlet. I think we need to take advantage of this schedule and figure everything out immediately with those two to get them on the court more together.
I'm actually going to push back and say that I think he's probably better off the bench. It allows us to keep balance. And if he's going to play like this, then you're basically always got a really good kind of current prototypical guy on the floor. And I do think that he raises the floor on Risa Shea, because even though Risa Shea hasn't been shooting great and hasn't been scoring great, all the rest of the things that he does, he's really doing well. He's a good rebounder, and when he gets the ball, he is out of there. He's willing to throw that pass. They can play with pace. Having Kuminga out there with what looks like now to be Gabe Vincent as the backup 5. Oh, also shout out to Quinn. Quinn has gone to a 10-man rotation. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. But if you're going to have Gabe and Kispert out there, Kispert at the 2 is solid. He's bigger. Risa Shea and Kuminga and Landale, you get a balance of offense and defense. I think that actually works really well versus top loading our starters and then hoping that the backups can kind of just carry us. This gives us a little bit more balance. Yeah, I'm not as
Mo. The reason I say him is because I want to see Mo. I think Mo, Quinn listens to us. Shout out to you, Quinn, for listening to us. Whenever a team gets going, he put Mo right on in there now.
Right.
Hey, they went on a run. Timeout. Mo, come on.
Fire extinguisher. But I think that he has unique responsibility. He's like the reliever. Hey, shut this shit down. End it. But outside of that, I think that Kispert's ability to shoot the ball, he's going to lean into that. And Kispert's more expensive at the end of the day. And you're tied to him for 3 more years. So you, to a certain point, you've invested in Kispert, at least in the short term. So it makes more sense to play him. And Kuminga, I think, is de facto the backup 4 now in the 10-man rotation. So
I mean, we'll see. We can agree to disagree. I just would have preferred. I like Mo. I would have liked to see Mo as the backup 4. And I also would have liked to see the Hawks at the buyout market at least add a point guard. I mean, Tyus Jones just went to.
I think that they're happy with. I think that they're happy with Gabe. And
I saw Gabe hit the side of the backboard twice in a row.
I agree with that, but the other part is Gabe he's a solid point of attack defender. He's let me kind of explain it this way. Gabe is defense, Kispert is offense. Risa Shea is defense, Kuminga is offense, Landale is offense. Kuminga is actually a little bit of both.
Well, Risa Shea starts. So that's why
I think that Risa Shea is on the bench now. And I think that Risa Shea and Kuminga off the bench
is going to start.
Yeah. I think that
I ain't the biggest fan of that, but I mean,
but to me, it ain't about who starts, it's about who ends the game. And I think he's going to end the game with who are the 5 guys who are playing best tonight. And if you're one of those 5 guys, then get your ass out there and finish the game. If it's not, then like I say all the time, it's not your night. But there's another wrinkle in this, because talking about Kuminga, I think that if he continues to play like this through the end of the season, then we're married to him, and we definitely pick up the option. Realistically, we probably go ahead and try to sign him to I would assume to be a 3-year contract. But at bare minimum, what we're doing right now is rehabbing an asset that was low value and turning it into something. And there are going to be teams that need a guy just like Jonathan Kuminga. And he can be traded all the way up and through the draft. So worst case scenario, we flip him to a team like Sacramento, who's been in love with him forever. Or if he looks like something that belongs on this team long term, then he's probably signed him to a reasonable deal.
Yeah. He's definitely making you think. And he's making the Warriors, for whatever reason, that decide not to do it. Boy, they're getting cooked on social media right now. They can use him.
Steve Kerr. And I did have somebody break it down where essentially it was Draymond or Kuminga, but not both. And it's ironic that it was Draymond specifically, because that was how Draymond got his job. It was David Lee or Draymond, and they chose Draymond. Well, in this case, yes. And in this case, it looks like you went against what you typically would do and stuck with the guy and pick and let the wrong guy go. And another one man's trash is another man's treasure right now. And I know it's only been a couple practices, but he has started out hot. But I want y'all to, everybody got to sit down and remain calm. I don't want us to get over our skis, as Reggie says. We haven't played anybody competitive. We do come up and play Milwaukee on Wednesday. Giannis is back. With that being said, I don't think that Giannis should play. They got throttled today by 27 points against the Boston Celtics. Wait. With no Jaylen Brown? You lost by 27? And Giannis played? Giannis.
Should have left. I got no sympathy. Should have left.
None.
You should have left.
Zero. I just knew that Jaylen Brown played. Peyton Pritchard, 25 points, 9 assists. Hey, the Bucks, and once again, it's funny how Jimmy Haslam makes an arrival in basketball and football. The Bucks are in a terrible situation. You don't have control of your draft pick, and there's no reason for Giannis to keep playing. I know y'all aren't tanking, but there's no reason for a guy of that age with that injury history to be playing to lose by 27 to the Celtics with no Jaylen Brown. Nope. Giannis is the reason that Glenn is there. So he should have stayed near what's his name? I forgot Adrian
Griffin.
Yep. So he did that to himself. With that being said, I think it's actually perfect transition for us to talk about. We finally made it back to 500.
Oh, how about I say you going for Adrian Griffin to Man City?
No. That is the reason that you shuffle the deck sometimes. We made it back to 500. We've been 500 for forever. I mean, we haven't been 500 for forever. We actually have I think what should be a better chance of getting above 500 and potentially getting out of that 9 seed and at least making an aggressive, once again, push to maybe get out of the play-in. I don't know how reasonable that is, but we're going to try. But it does feel good to be 5. It feels good not to be a losing team anymore. I know that it is literally one game, but not being a losing team is a lot. And if we won a couple games and we were a winning team, I know it's not the most games above 500, but every game above 500 is a better feeling than the last one.
The game against the 76ers on Saturday will be telling for me because they're the team that is 2 games ahead of us right now in the 6th spot. If we can somehow beat the Bucks, beat them, then you got Mavs, Nets, Bucks before it goes Magic, Mavs, Rockets. Then you got Grizzlies, Warriors. So that's what I was saying. Like, you need to take care of these up until March 25th. The first 3 weeks of March, you need to win the majority of these games because then you go Pistons, Celtics, Kings. And in March, this ain't April, right? So this is when they're going to be trying to close out their position. So you need to win as many points as you can, win as many games as you can. And I believe you're right. I think you can. If you go on a streak, you could definitely get out of the play-in.
Right. But I mean, Miami ain't playing fantastic.
Unless they play us.
Right. Orlando ain't playing fantastic. Charlotte is still right on breathing down your neck, though. And they're gonna make every 3 they shoot. And they're gonna shoot every 3 that they can. So you can't there is no break. Ain't no and there's no resting on your laurels. But like I said, even going into All-Star, the playoffs have started. And once again, the playoffs are mid-swing right now. Every game matters. You need to play every game as hard as you can. Shout out to that game against the Thunder and the Pistons. That's what it looks like when you have 2 teams that are trying to win every possession. That is how we need to play. You can't give away games. You can't give away possessions, and you sure as hell can't give away games. I do want to say this, and then we'll talk about him here and again later. But us being 500 is the reason that you trade Trae Young. We're in the exact same position we would have been with him. We have been every other year with him, without him, without the $50 million player option next year. And it looks like the Wizards and him have come to a conclusion. They're going to extend this and they're going to sign him to a contract. This is the reason that you had to make that. You said what?
Him and Anthony Davis. That's the pair.
But that's the reason you make the move is we still got to the same place without tying ourselves up in a massive contract. And we have financial optionality and a really good draft pick. So there's potential for us to actually move forward without being tied to a massive contract. I know there are a lot of people who, for good reason, miss Trae, wish he was still on the team, etc. But this is kind of the reason that you make that move for those people.
I agree.
All right, now let's go to the mess. Actually, before we get to the mess, let's get to the good part.
Doom, 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 doom.
But in a surprising strategic partnership, the Hawks and of course the Orlando Magic City Monday is perfect. The Magic City will be sponsoring this game. They will have Magic City hoodies that will
already ordered mine.
You can order them?
Pre-order.
Say less. We'll get it. There will be a Magic City hoodie that will be available for the game on March 16th. It has garnered quite a lot of different opinions. I think that the opinion is typically pretty consistent with people who are culturally aware of what Atlanta is, and then people who are not culturally aware of what Atlanta is. One of the people who I saw on the internet was Brendan Haywood. He thought this was terrible. All of this, it was a joke, etc. But the people who are from Atlanta and Atlanta fans have all really enjoyed this. Everybody who I know who's a Hawks fan is like, oh, I need one of these. And I think overall it's fantastic.
Tony Wrestler likes money. Whatever you feel don't matter. Let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to sell out of everything. They're going to sell out of hoodies. They got the matching Pac-Man hats with the Peachtree on there to go with the hoodie. They partner with Peachtree Hoops. The guy that runs that's going to be out of there. They're gonna have special they're gonna have a special performance by T.I. They're gonna have pregame performances, they're gonna have post-game concerts. Let me tell you, y'all can get mad all you want to. Them greens that's gonna be coming through that cash register.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you right now, if you don't have a ticket, it might be sold out by the end of this week. And it's Orlando. And you about to get all that Orlando money. All the folks from Orlando gonna come up here. They're gonna be right here.
Okay. Prior to the game, principal owner Jamie Gertz will make a special introduction. And yeah, you got Jermaine Dupri, Killer Mike, T.I., all in a Big Boy in a docu-series. Magic City will serve two versions of their world famous lemon pepper wings, the Lou Will lemon pepper barbecue and traditional lemon pepper. This is
I didn't think that barbecue with lemon pepper.
Right. Put it on the list. But this is very Atlanta, and I truly appreciate that. And sometimes you just nailed it. And
fun.
then you have Luke Cornett who wants Magic City Monday canceled. Bro, you played in the Celtics. You go over there and do whatever you want to in Boston. Now you in San Antonio. Y'all do whatever y'all want to in San Antonio. You don't know about Georgia. You don't know about Atlanta. Mind your business. This ain't for you. If you don't want to be involved with Magic City Monday, Don't take your ass to Magic City Monday.
Bro, you are from Lexington, Kentucky. Let me tell you, Luke. Ironically, you're from one of the worst states in the union when it comes to race relations in the history of this country. I find it ironic that you speak up on this when there have been so many other atrocities that have happened to the culture that mess with
he's heating
all of
up.
your coworkers. With all of your coworkers.
Right.
I ain't heard you say nothing about immigration. I ain't heard you say nothing about race relations, police brutality. I haven't heard you nothing. Now, Luke, we didn't even know what your voice sounded like. All we know is that you like to challenge threes from the paint. That's all we knew about you. Now, all of a sudden, you have a 500-word essay that you want to post on social media. Let me tell you what you can do. Miss me with that shit. Listen, you don't know what is happening in Atlanta. I can probably guarantee you outside of playing basketball, you've never even been in Atlanta. You probably don't even. I know with this thing that you just posted that you don't even like the culture of Atlanta. You're from Lexington, Kentucky. So sometimes it benefits you to shut the fuck up. Right? We just gonna let that pause, just let that marinate. Sometimes it benefits you to shut the fuck up. You don't have to like it. But you ain't got to tell us you don't like it. You must think we care.
Right.
We're actually just making fun of you. We don't really care what you have to say.
Enjoying it, every moment of it.
Listen, and the thing is, I don't know why you hating. Atlanta is a multicultural adult entertainment city. You could have went to the Pink Pony if you wanted to. You could have been good right up there.
You could have ran by Cheetah before they ended that.
Or you might like cosplay. You can go to Claremont Lounge. You can. I mean, it's a lot of different places for you to go, brother.
Luke,
it's a lot of different places.
You start crushing them cans. He's like, "What is this?"
It's a lot of places you could go. You know what I mean? Go take a walk. Don't even watch the game.
Wait. You know where you can go, Reggie?
To hell.
To hell. You go to hell. You go to hell. You go to hell. And you're right. Dissertations and all time. Nobody cares, Luke. No, not one single person cares. Shut up.
Yeah, Luke, tell me how you feel about race relations and the political climate of this country, and then I'll be able to understand what you say, and I'll care about what you feel.
Care more about Cop City than Magic City. How about that? Oh, and the crowd goes silent. Moving on to other people who have really chapped my ass. I'm gonna tell y'all. I've spoken to Kevin about this. I had to do a debrief with Reggie about this.
Boy, it scared me. That boy called like, "You got a second? I need to vent." I said, "Oh my Lord." I said,
I'm gonna tell y'all know me. When I read something, first thing I do is I gotta go vet it to make sure, because I don't want to get NBA Centel. And I do a pretty good job of not. It's definitely not on the pod. Maybe every now and then I'll get got in the group, but definitely I don't want to bring y'all anything that's not true. So I get my ass up on Saturday and I see that Steve Kerr has said that Kristaps Porzingis does not actually have POTS. That was some misinformation that was out there.
For 3 years.
And I thought that was somebody playing on Al Gore's internet. Ain't no way that this is true, because we've been covering the POTS and his lack of ability to play for a time. Then
we're the second team to deal with that.
Right. The first thing I had to do was confirm that he said this. He did. Now I am mad. I am upset. What the fuck you mean? Then I had to go back and figure out where we got POTS from. And it was from Kristaps Porzingis. He told us that he had POTS. Maybe he was smoking pot. I don't know. But we didn't make that up. Not to mention, why has he, so we just don't know what's wrong with, he just sick? In perpetuity? Unknown illness?
And you traded for him. Well, I mean, you traded for the contract.
Hold up. No, the trade still, and once again, Kristaps Porzingis for Terrence Mann, even with this mysterious illness that is contagious. I do want to say that part. Because he said he had to be away from the team because it was contagious. Now, when Kristaps had the flu and then he got on the plane and I said, hey, we probably shouldn't do this because he's probably contagious, everybody was like, no. That's when the whole damn team got sick too. But now the Golden State Warriors, they fixed their mind that they was going to trade for the man with the mysterious illness that nobody knows about. And remember, Ansi Saleh is a former Golden State Warrior employee. So him and Steve Kerr have a good relationship. So Steve Kerr said he spoke to Ansi Saleh before. They had a whole conversation about this mysterious illness that nobody has a name for. And you still traded for him. Steve Kerr, gather your thing.
Mysterious illness that nobody traded, that you traded for. Again, I think it was the contract, but then you let Kuminga go.
No. I'm not. I'm putting less blame on us because if a player says I have POTS, I think you kind of gotta believe them, and that's what I think that we kind of did for the most part. But the Golden State Warriors, you got to be dumb as a box of rocks. Trading a guy who can play and does play for a guy who has a mysterious illness and does not play is dumb. And I think that is why when we kept saying, boy, it sure is weird that Buddy Hield and Draymond Green speak so highly of Jonathan Kuminga. I think that everybody in there is looking at Steve Kerr like, you don't know what you're doing anymore, bro. It's your time has come and gone. It was a great time while it was here. But, bro, you've lost the plot. And Golden State Warriors, you're not the Atlanta Hawks. So I'm going to tell you, like I will tell any other team, please extend Steve Kerr to a 4-year, 5-year contract. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I think that this is a jam-up meeting between you guys. Perfect combination. I think this is the time to extend Steve. And y'all keep running this play. But I ain't gonna lie. When I found out that Kristaps Porzingis didn't have POTS, I was about to hurt myself. I couldn't even contain myself.
I'm curious, and it's contagious. I'm curious, and it keeps coming back. What is it?
Nope. Did you listen to the last two things you said? Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Whatever it is, and also he can't get on the plane with me. Hell no, I'm not getting
And then he played like 2 games after he
got. Y'all better send Outbreak to Latvia. He cannot get on the plane with me.
That's why I told you. I think his career might be over.
I do. I think that his career should be over, and not from like a hate point of view, but if this is whatever it is, it's a lot on him. I do believe that. I believe that he wants to play basketball because when he plays, once again, he is a world beater.
20-10, 15-9,
world unstoppable, undefendable. And you only know that when he plays on your team, you actually get to watch him and just like not have to deal with what the media is saying about a player. You just get to watch him killed night after night, and you look like, damn, he just. I 1000% think that if he didn't have health issues, he could have been one of the top 10 basketball players in NBA history. But if you also see that he only played like 11, 12 games for us.
I wonder, and I don't want to speculate. This is just I am speculating, but I'm not trying to start.
You say I don't want to speculate, but speculate on.
I am speculating, but I wonder if it's staff. Remember, he got that sleeve on. He had that tendon injury. He had to have all that stuff in Boston, and now he wears the leg sleeve. That's the only thing I can think of that leaves and comes back, that can leave and come back. That is contagious, but then when it's gone, you can just come play. I wonder if it's like something wrong like that versus
know, man.
Stead or anything else.
It's bad. Whatever it is, it's bad. And I mean, eventually, just joy of life has to. You're rich. You're infinitely rich, and probably don't. I mean, hell, it's probably better to be in Latvia than America right now. So, yeah, just might be over. But I can't imagine a team at this point paying him anything. Like, it's not even the amount; it's the roster spot for a guy who you never know when he's going to be available. That is a lot.
I mean, again, they got it for flexibility, but yeah, it is.
No, ain't no flexibility. This is in his contract, and then he not going back to the Warriors. They need that roster spot.
Yeah, no flexibility. They cleared up. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could have done that with Kuminga anyway, because you would have got rid of him.
That's the part. Is there are people who wanted Kuminga.
You traded it. Family was stealing food. What PR person said that's okay to put out? Fire them too.
Steph said, "Nah, my bad, dog. I don't know who did that.
I don't know what that is, dog.
Yeah, dog, they tripping. But for him to put that on Instagram was good. Like, nah, man, they wilding out. And I think that a lot of this is Steve Kerr is just re-signed Steve Kerr to 5 more years. But I personally think that his run in the NBA, it probably should be over sooner rather than later. Right. No, For what? You won a bunch of championships. You rich. He has his own health issues too. Remember all them games where he couldn't coach? Yeah, because of the back issue. That's when he started smoking weed. Maybe he got some bad weed. Maybe you need to get some of that weed to KP.
Not in California. If you get bad weed in California, you tried to get bad weed in California.
I mean, he just didn't play Kuminga. So
they played a little dust. A little smoky.
Right. Was in the chicken coop. Also, in a very surprising note, Trae Young will make his debut for the Washington Wizards on Thursday against the Utah Jazz. The reason this is surprising is the Wizards pick the Wizards need to continue to lose so that pick does not go to the New York Knicks. I imagine that if Trae Young plays, he's going to try his damnedest to win. Now, I don't think that they have anybody above
minutes restriction
6'8", 6'9" to play center. So that's going to be rough. But one thing about Trae is he could always go for 50 and just shoot you to a win.
50 and 12.
Right. He could force his way to a win. And I do think that I know he's motivated. There's one thing about him. He is going to be motivated to prove to Atlanta that they made a mistake. I don't know how feasible that is, but the kid is motivated. And I just don't understand this play. You guys not trying to win. You did have a pretty serious injury. You've had a couple Achilles type of issues in the past. I don't know why play these games when you guys are not competitive nor really trying to compete. And there's no Anthony Davis and there's no Alexander Sarr.
Adam Silver made the call because this has been the theme for everybody. Giannis came back. Why? Trae coming back. Why? That whole gambling thing, this is an issue that we are going to have to monitor going forward because this goes against everything that teams have done until that whole tanking thing came out.
Well, my pushback is going to be, we're tanking and charge me $500,000 like you did or $100,000 like you did Danny Ainge last year. I'll pay it.
Adam Silver's reactionary. That don't mean he could charge you more.
Okay, whatever it is, it's not worth me risking a guy that I just traded for, and then I'm gonna probably have to pick up a play. And because this is like, God forbid, this is not what I want to happen. But what happens if that Achilles pops? He's still gonna take that $50 million player option.
Yeah, you'd have to. That's good business,
right? So I don't understand what, like, I will pay $1 million to not risk $50 million. And you can't even get me to $1 million with, it ain't but 10 or 11 games left in the season. Even if you hit me for $500,000, it still keeps me out of the risk. It's just, I don't understand.
I don't get it. Or unless they just trying to get him back on the court to like almost as a workout, like practice, as you said, the Hawks had. And I don't know.
It don't make sense to me. And Kev, you got any insight? Because
blessings and Godspeed. No.
This
ain't my team though.
I don't even understand why Trae would want to get out there and do that. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not playing. I'm not risking it because I need another contract first. He should not play until he gets another contract, or you pick up the player option. If they're not going to pay you, and they've already said they're going to pay you, I would not jeopardize my money now.
Yeah.
Seems like y'all at least
Trae has played no games and already got kicked out of one. So,
oh, well, hey, now that's the other thing. He going to get you about 15, 16 technical fouls a year. So just go ahead and build that in there. Make that a part. Show what he can do for the next team. Maybe they aren't willing to pay.
The Jazz. Show what he can. Well, no, the Jazz, they set.
Jazz
Isaiah Collier got that lock.
Yeah.
48. I play 48 minutes for 80
But this is
games.
the thing. What was released today was that Trae is going to sign a contract with the Wizards. So it sounds like they at least have a framework of a conversation. I mean, of a contract, and they're not trying to win because they don't want the Knicks to get that pick. But once again, we are trying to figure out a good plan of action for a team that historically has made poor decisions. I don't understand stupid. This seems stupid to me.
Speaking of that,
I told y'all this to start this season. I do this every season, specifically in football and basketball. If you followed the pod for a long time, this has been a Trevor Lawrence recurring theme, and it has now been a recurring theme for the Lakers and the Miami Heat. I'm speaking of contracts where players have earned what they believe to be a perceived amount of money and what the teams will actually play. There was a message that came out and said that Austin Reeves is looking to make to sign a contract for 5 years, $210 million. For the people who are not great at math, that is $42 million a year. I think that is relatively expensive. Another guy in a very similar situation is Tyler Hero, who I assume is going to want whatever Austin Reeves gets because he's played better longer and he's actually a one-time All-Star. And as with the CBA, I don't know of what teams are going to be willing to pay these guys who, while are both very good scorers, really don't bring a whole lot else to the game. They're not really elite facilitators. They're not good on defense. They're not rebounders. They're just buckets. And $40 million bucket is kind of expensive considering everybody in the NBA can score. But I've been telling y'all this.
I wouldn't pay him. I wouldn't do it.
I've been telling y'all this all season. I'm like, hey, man, these guys want to be paid. And if I'm the Lakers, I'm not paying this. I just maxed Luka.
You can't pay it. You physically cannot pay this. Because you have Luka, and then I'm assuming that you're gonna get rid of LeBron, but LeBron ain't got that many places to go. It's either LA or Cleveland for me that I can really pay attention to. Although I was having a conversation in the barbershop, shout out to the dudes that was yelling at me, and I was thinking about it. LeBron, if he wants to win, should leave the Lakers and go to Orlando. Going to Orlando allows him to be the point forward.
He cannot go there. He cannot go to Orlando. He specifically said, out of all the teams, and it's funny that you say that team specifically. He said, I ain't never going to Orlando.
That's foolish. Because
you make
But-
plans. You make plans, and God laughs. It's funny that is the one place he said specifically. I ain't going
but
to
if
Orlando.
you look at the fit, and
Perfect.
the reason I say that, and we'll get back to Lakers, this is all coming back to the Lakers, I promise, is LeBron is at the age now where his best attribute is getting everybody else using his mind versus his athleticism. Orlando has athleticism galore, and they have pieces to trade. And LeBron could come there and be the point forward. He could get Paolo the ball, who you just substitute Paolo for AD, right? Is what he wanted to do with AD, but AD kept getting hurt. You get Paolo the ball. You have other guards and other defensive players that could take the pressure off of LeBron. And you also have you wouldn't lose much of a bench because you have so many assets over there. To me, that's the best space because he can't go back to LA as they've already released conversations. And I know you've seen it, not conversations, but rumors where the LA said they're going to talk with Luka and Austin Reeves about LeBron's future in LA, which is
No. I had to rewatch the clip because it's actually from the shop. And Rich asked him, "Does Orlando have any chance of free agency?" He looked him in his eyes and said, "No chance." Funny how that works.
somebody did something, but it's the best. It's the best. I may be wrong, I think Houston would be another one, where he could be a point forward and just give the ball to KD forever. But to me, like that's his role. But the Lakers, y'all, I don't even. What's past dysfunction?
I don't think. I honestly don't think it's dysfunction. It's just you're in the tough part of the rebuild. You're in it. You're in the midst of it.
Either. Theoretically,
yeah.
they rebuilt once in my lifetime that I can remember. Well, 90s,
No,
90s, the post Magic, I guess. Yeah.
They rebuilt Kobe Shaq.
That was
They rebuilt Lonzo, Brandon Ingram.
That's the one I was talking about, where it actually worked. They actually they built a really good team.
And this is where you got to strip it down to the studs. This is the reason that everything is so bad is that, I mean, you're also, it's just they got to get rid of everybody. That's the reason they didn't, none of these guys are on long-term deals. This is just the point where, hey, what we got is what we got. We not signing nobody. We not extending nobody. Y'all gonna have to make it work with this. And then next year, I think that, probably. I don't think that JJ is a good fit in the first place. I don't think that I'm not sure. I don't know why people think that JJ is a good coach. I said this from the beginning. Is he a good commentator? Yes. Is he a basketball nerd who had a podcast with LeBron James? Yes. But I don't know him to be a good coach. And everything that I've seen, especially in this NBA, he's not the greatest manager of people, egos, tension. He's a guy who, for better or worse, wears all of his emotions on his sleeves, and you can tell it. And he's also and also Luka and him are they're going to be oil and water because how they see basketball. Luka is a guy who's been good his entire life. He's always been a guy who is going to be the best guy in the NBA eventually. JJ Redick is a workout demon who's not really athletically gifted and has really just had to, at every point, outwork, like, good basketball player, but due to his limited athleticism has had to really just work out every day and practice every day to be a NBA player. So you trying to coach a guy who's just like, nah, I've been good my whole life versus like JJ, who's good, but I've had to just practice a million times. Not saying that Luka don't do that, but JJ's in better shape than Luka is today.
More of an indictment on Luka, but Luka, it's going to be interesting how this all plays out at LA.
Yeah,
because they're already, and I guess you can go to the Byron tired. Like I said, they're tired of LeBron there.
It would be better if they picked one singular struggle. They got 4 dumpster fires at the same time. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
trade everybody, like you said. But it ain't like it's a lot to trade now.
No. It's not trading everybody. It's getting them just, clear the books. Get everybody off. Then we will call the people who we want to come over here. And there are going to be guys who want to come over and play with Luka. But Austin Reeves, this is a dumpster fire because this guy is undrafted. He played the game right. And now he's played himself into a position where he's going to make a ton of money. That's dumpster fire number 1. Right to LeBron. Byron Scott says this should be your last year here. You don't have to go. You don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. You have LeBron James, second best basketball player of all time, who's now looking for somewhere between a competitive team and a farewell tour. That's dumpster fire number 2. And then you got DeAndre Ayton, who don't know his station in life and goes on to tell people says to his teammates, I'm not Clint Capella. And they try to turn me into Clint Capella. Clint Capella, after this, Clint responds in the most classy but deadly way ever and say, hey, man, you got 2 of the best floor generals in the game. Lock in. He didn't take a shot at him, but he said, hey, man, you have all the opportunity in the world. Now, I will give a little bit of pushback and say I understand what DeAndre Ayton is saying. Hey, I'm a guy who can shoot the ball. I have touch around the rim. I'm not just a in-paint rim protector. Now, what I will say is read the fucking room. You might need to watch some Clint Capella tape if you want to be successful. Yeah. Even though you have a larger skill set, this might not be the time nor the place for it. And I've said, and he had played himself into into some money.
Talked his way right out of it.
I think that Clint Capella is his own worst enemy. There's nobody who plays better defense on Clint Capella than himself. Whether it be the air mattress that took him out,
or him.
What did I say?
Clint Capella.
Oh, yes. DeAndre Ayton and the air mattress, DeAndre Ayton and having the issue with the Phoenix Suns, DeAndre Ayton and kind of playing himself into some money and then saying something stupid that the entire NBA began to laugh at you about. The best thing that you could
did this in Phoenix.
The best thing that you could probably do is just play basketball and shut up. But I also am starting to notice a theme about DeAndre Ayton. I'm not sure if he's the most aware and intelligent human. And I'm only saying that from the actions that I've seen from him.
I don't know about intelligence. I think it's arrogance. I think that we've seen this.
That air mattress is intelligence.
I mean, Steven Adams sleep on the floor. Yeah, his box spring on the floor. But anyway, my point is we've seen this before with people over extending or seeing themselves as something while the league sees them somewhere else. And DeAndre Ayton is that guy. He sees himself as dominating. right? And it's not working. We saw it with Andre Drummond. They offered Andre Drummond all that money. He wanted more. He then became a role player in the league, who actually is a very good role player.
Yeah, I don't like to put Drummond. I mean, because sometimes the market will just do you bad.
No,
Kind of
they
like
offered Drummond $100 million and he wanted more, and it was like cool. So and similar to your boy Schroeder. So we've seen this before. It's just Ayton is loud.
That,
but
that's the thing. Like,
shut up.
I don't have an issue with like gambling on yourself, because we love a story where it says, "Oh, Austin Reeves, perfect example. He could have been drafted in the second round. He said no because that puts me into a contract that is more difficult to get out of. So you bet on yourself. So Drummond and Schroeder bet on themselves. It just didn't work. Ayton is not just betting on himself. He is literally, he's his own worst enemy. He's in the way of himself more than anything. And that, like, yeah. And the bad part is Twitter exists now, and your effort on certain plays is just going to be everywhere. And you can just see him. There's 4 or 5 or 6 plays. He's just getting beat on pure not giving effort, not being in the right place. Even though I think one of those, LeBron actually supposed to pick that guy up and just doesn't. But you also have to know that 80-year-old,
54 for that barbershop. Yeah. Y'all paying 54 for no defense.
Yeah. So, but I think had Ayton not said anything and just played, and even if he didn't give his effort, he still would have. The kid's talent is there. It's just all he has negative intangibles, which probably means he'll be playing for the Brooklyn Nets soon.
They got Claxton unless they trade him.
Well, I think that, I mean, you'll be at whatever 2 or 3 teams that are tanking, because I don't think that there will be many next year. That's where you probably headed.
Chicago.
On a 1-year deal, because I mean,
I don't care. I just said that's a fit. It could be 1 year, it could be 6 months for all I care. I don't care.
I don't know if him and Billy Donovan work.
Oh well, I mean, Ayton ain't gonna work with too many. I mean, he ain't work with old boy.
Monty
the guy in the finals.
To be completely honest, DeAndre Ayton hasn't worked anywhere. Monty wanted him out. The Blazers just gave him away. And now
nobody signed him. He went to the Lakers.
Yeah. Right? And I mean, yeah, this is not great. So yeah, that is the one thing you don't want to happen, is everybody to get tired of you. Especially once the Blazers have no use for you, and then you have a big team like the Lakers who have a big footprint. And I mean, you know, it took Russell Westbrook a little minute to bounce back. I mean, Ayton, you ain't gonna have that. You're not gonna go somewhere and then
he could be cap relief. Cleveland, I could see moving Jared Allen and then signing Ayton, pairing him with old boy.
Cleveland,
he's gonna be cap relief. He's not. He's on his way to being DeAndre Drummond. Honestly.
Yeah, but at least Drummond was good for 2 contracts. Ayton is just gonna be like, bro, what are you doing? But if I'm Spider Mitchell, you cannot bring him over here. It's too unserious. I know the answer. Sacramento Kings.
Oh,
Sacramento Kings. You get right over there. They trying to move Sabonis anyway. You can play the 5. They're not going to be competitive at anything anytime soon. That is the marriage right there. You can stay in California. Speaking of people moving on, Perk said that JJ got more excuse than a brother going to jail. It's time for you to coach. I think that we talked about this a few minutes ago. I don't know if JJ is a good coach.
How would you know if he's a good coach? He only been coaching for 1 year, not 2 years. The second year.
Second year. Pain and
second
strife.
year. He only been coaching for 2 years. 1.5.
You also coaching LeBron and Luka.
What that mean?
I mean, the Lakers team
If you
ain't
can't
great,
coach,
but
it don't matter who you coach.
I agree. I think that he's going to end up. I think that this is one of those situations. It's going to be better for everybody to get out of there. JJ, get on
Build
out
it
of there. Hey,
around
this.
Luka and call it a day.
Yeah, just literally everything must go minus Luka. And just
That sucks
start
for Luka.
over. No, it doesn't. Why do you think it sucks for Luka?
You were just in the finals.
Yeah, and this
18
allows
months ago?
me
24 months ago?
to strategically handpick the coach that I want and the supporting cast that I want. And I have an entire I have all the money to spend minus my own contract. I think it's the best case scenario for him. I don't think he was ever going to get this anywhere else. Dallas waited too long to try to put players around him. He come right in and say, hey, and it's LA. I got a pristine location. I have a bankroll full of money, and I'm going to. This is him. This is him going into his LeBron era.
We'll see.
With full autonomy. And remember, the Lakers, the Buss family sold him to the guy who owns the Dodgers. So you got competent ownership that should be able to put a staff around him above and below. You're in the right city, and you don't have any contracts to be worried about. Yeah, this is best case scenario. This is equivalent of going to 2K and starting a franchise.
We shall see.
Reggie
I don't trust anything.
Reggie sounds skeptical as hell, boy.
They hired JJ Redick with no coaching experience.
When black people tell you we shall see like that, they don't think you're going to do right.
No belief, no faith.
Zero. On the other end of this, San Antonio Spurs have not lost a basketball game in the month of February. And
they did not. No, they did not. No. What's today? Nope, they lost yesterday. Yep, they did not lose a game in February.
Basketball is such a strange place because we started this season. OKC we were talking about 72 and 10. And now the Spurs might be the best team in the West.
I don't know, man. Joker came back and they right at number. They ain't fall. They at number 3.
Right. But just think about, like, we got all of our players. We got everybody on the right contract. We won a championship last year. We look like a dynasty. Wait, hold on. And then we started out like 24-0, like everything was rolling our way. And then life shows up. And now people don't even.
Oh, that's the nickname you got for Wemby is life? Because that's what
happened.
Wemby.
Yes.
3 out of 4.
No, but it's not just Wemby. It is De'Aaron Fox. It is Stephon Castle. It is Dylan Harper.
Champagne.
Yeah, and Champagne. Like, this is like Wemby is good, but Wemby has also been on a minutes restriction. Wemby's been injured. They've been winning with and without Wemby. Like, this is a team.
Well, Stephon Castle is the guy that has taken them to the next level, if you want to say sans Wemby. Because as they said on the broadcast yesterday, during this whole run, he's been almost, if not the best perimeter defender in the league.
Right.
So, and now he's starting to hit threes, which is even scarier.
Right.
So, which puts them in a conundrum later on because they got a lot of players. But
I think a conundrum is not. No, I think they have a fantastic situation of assets to trade and combine. It's like we talked about in the group.
The conundrum is, who do you trade and who do you combine? Who do you get? Who's the people?
Oh, some of that is going to be easy. Harrison Barnes,
retirement.
No, you got one of two options because Spurs is different. They will let you stay. You just got that one seat way at the end of the bench. You sit on the floor next to that seat. But you can stay and you could basically be a coach. I think the Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, that's where it gets really interesting to me. but also, and they have our draft pick. Like, it won't be a great draft pick, but it's going to be mid. It's going to be right there in the middle, which is a good draft to find somebody because there's still going to be plenty of players, 14, 15, 16. Fox,
It's
Castle,
probably a
Vassell.
replacement for somebody that they trade.
And, I mean, you could always pair that 15th pick and Vassell or that 15th pick and Keldon Johnson and potentially move up. If a team needs depth, yeah, I'll take 15, especially in a deep draft. Especially that's essentially what the Atlanta Hawks did last year with Ace and Newell. We knew who we wanted. You want Derek Queen? Well, yeah, we could do a swap.
No, that was a swindle.
I mean, yes, you probably won't swindle the Spurs in the same way, but if somebody knows that they got a guy that they're really like that probably won't be taken until 15, 16, 17, then yeah, and the Spurs got a guy at say 9, 10, 11 that they want. Yeah, I gotta have him, which is going to be that. I don't know if Caleb Wilson goes that far, but it's going to be some guys in that area that the dude from Tennessee that plays like Risache Ament. Like, they're going to be guys that are available in that 10 through 14 slot that are going to be good. So yeah, you could combine and move up. They're in a good position.
I agree. They got smoked though. And Wemby's gonna professionals always adjust. And while Wemby is dominating when he plays against the Spurs and they put when he plays against the Knicks and they put Mitchell Robinson in and you get physical with Wemby, that's when it is not really overwhelming him. It's just you're tiring him out. And that's what teams have tried to do. They tried to tire him out by running, and the mug gets the rebound and then goes coast to coast. But if you constantly pause, if necessary, bang him in the paint over and over and over again with Mitchell Robinson, and while y'all talk about Cat was still fighting in the paint, and that takes a lot of energy. And then you had OG and all
and Carl Anthony Towns he's still a large human. Like, that's
250, 260, whatever he is.
No, he more than that. Let me tell you, Carl Anthony Towns is by now he probably closer to. He's 7 feet tall. He's not a skinny basketball player.
He plays smaller than he is, but my point is they figured out
that weight still lay on you.
Right, you just kind of let you. I mean, Wemby gonna go off in the first.
They got him at 248. I think he probably closer to 260.
He's coming out the game a lot. I watched that whole game against the Knicks. He was coming out the game a lot in the third, just because of fatigue.
I think they probably he's a guy that you might look at Hartenstein.
I would say you probably get somebody that's big enough to be able to be the backup center or be able to then, because he's such a unicorn that you can put Wemby at the 4.
That's what I think the best thing for him probably is to make him put it backside rim protection. All the 4s that and he's perfect for it. I don't have to defend. I don't have to physically wrestle with guys in the paint. But as soon as somebody comes into the paint and tries to shoot a shot, just block it. And ironically enough, Mitchell Robinson, free agent. Do you want to play in New York or do you want to play in San Antonio?
Mitchell Robinson? Oh, he loved San Antonio. Don't he be doing chess and jean shorts with loafers and all that stuff too? Doc Martens.
Also, Jared Allen. He'd be great in San Antonio. He might.
Walker Kessler.
Nope. Stay away from Danny Ainge. I've been telling y'all that. It's certain people you just and that Walker Kessler prototype is going to be valuable because guys like Wemby. See, you think that he's going to trade you Walker Kessler? Why would he do that? You know what Walker Kessler does for Wemby? Yeah, you might want to walk him to a championship. Get off my. You think I'm going to do that? I'm not doing it.
Yep.
I rob people. Don't get robbed.
Yep.
All right. We have completed tonight. Did we miss anything in basketball?
Mm-hmm. Don't think so. We had 2 hours and 56 minutes. If we missed it, it's missed. It's gone.
Well, we have come to the end, and tonight we end with the Atlanta Hawks not being a losing team, and that is a blessing. And we are blessed and highly flavored. With that being said, we finna get out of here. Number one, more black baseball. Shout out to Drake Baldwin. Bravos, keep doing the right thing. Number 2, shout out to Kev in the back. What up, though? Number 3, the historically black college and university, the one you went to, your uncle, your auntie, the person who's laughing kiki in the back of church, send some money over there. Number 2, the historically black college and university in your neighborhood, the one you go to for homecoming, step shows, swimming and diving meets, whatever it may be, send some money over there. And finally, we asked for $18.68 on behalf of the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. They gave me a degree, Kev a degree, Reggie a degree. Send some money to the standard of excellence. And hey, they canceled my homecoming Airbnb, so I'm back on the hunt. We got to make it happen. Adios, mi amigos. God is love. Y'all be safe until we meet again. And always remember, like, follow, subscribe. Tell somebody about the pod. We out this joint. Peace.
Peace.